Okay, so it is live right now.
Live?
Yeah, we are live. Not quite yet.
No, not yet.
This is just oops. This is just, starting it off. All right. Yo, what up? What's good? It's your boy C's from the CZLife.com, and today we have
Sarah Gaines.
Sarah Gaines. All right, so this is just a pre-roll for me recording the second episode of my podcast.
Yep.
So, like I said, just pulling up to the homies, and we're just going to be discussing entrepreneurship, personal development, and our journeys, right?
Love
and
it.
what got us to this moment.
My favorite.
So we're going to do a quick little sound check.
All right.
1 2 1 2. Let me turn this device on. And as always, I'll be recording the podcast with the Spire Studio. They're not paying me to
I was about to say, are they? We
They're
should
not
get them
paying
too.
me, but I'm like, yo, if I'm going to be doing the whole ton of, ooh, did you hear that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so we're going to do a sound check, and it's going to pick up on our voices, all right? Okay, so we'll go.
Hello. Check.
Check. 1 1 2 1 2.
1 2.
1 2 1 2.
All right, is the goal to get it? There we go.
All right, so now it's live. Okay, well, it's not actually live, but we're going to make sure. Oh, try not to lean too close because of the
Feedback?
yeah, for the feedback,
Cool.
and hopefully it doesn't jam that either. Okay, so you're going to do the ceremonial start
Okay.
to the.
Trying to get myself comfortable here because I'm so short. Like my legs don't ever touch the ground. Oh
Whoa,
my god.
there you go.
All right.
Hello. All right, so it's connected. We're going to put a new track. All right, so hit the button.
Yeah.
And we are
We're
live.
live, baby.
Yo, what up? It's your boy C's from the CZLife.com, and have my friend Sarah Gaines here. Funny enough, I didn't think Sarah Gaines was actually your last name.
People say that a lot. It's actually my last name.
I'm like, yo, that's a cool little tag name,
Yeah.
but it's really your last name.
It is.
Okay, so we're pretty much going to be talking about our journeys in entrepreneurship and personal development. And okay, I need to lower the volume.
Cool.
How's that?
Better.
Better, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I reached out to Sarah because, as I mentioned, like before the cameras came on, is like every time I'm looking within what's going on in the fitness space in Boston, either people tell me like, yo, see what Sarah's up to, or she has an event coming up or something. So I was like, all right, let me get her on the show. And like every time we would run into each other, it would be just like, quick, hello, what's up, what's good. So this is like our very
It's
first
like our first
sit-down.
hangout.
Yeah, our first hangout.
I'm excited. And we're wearing the same hat, basically.
Oh, yeah, basically, sort of.
Should I put mine on?
Yeah,
Should
sure.
I?
Yeah.
Maybe for a little. I might get
All right, so let's start by introducing you, Sarah.
All right. Hi, guys. My name is Sarah Gaines. I live in Boston. Been here for about 6.5 years. I came up here originally from Florida and went to Northeastern. Happened to be repping the school today,
Repping
actually,
set.
not by chance. Or I guess by chance. And let's see, so I am a fitness instructor for one thing. I'm an ASICS studio trainer. So ASICS has this awesome app where it's basically audio group fitness classes. So you plug me in and I'm like, hey guys, what's up? Let's go through a workout.
So a little MC.
Little MCing.
Okay.
And what else do I do? And I teach at a few studios around Boston, Burn Fitness Studios right now. And I tend to do a lot of events around the city. I am the founder of a handful of different community-based organizations, Fit University, which is fitness for college students, the Y Society, which is a professional network for women in their 20s, and then most recently Connection, which is a traveling movement and music festival.
Okay, I got a ton of questions for this connection because it is actually pretty dope. And I've gotten a couple of your newsletters too, so if you haven't subscribed to her newsletter, this is where she drops all the things that's happening around Boston. Just share with me, and then I'll just put it in the description
Thank you.
so people can go check it out. So moved, and then so let's start from your origin stories, right?
All right.
Every superhero has their origin story, and I don't know if I've shared all of mine, but they've gotten bits and pieces. So yeah, let's talk about your origin stories. Like,
all right.
I know you first started your first community out of Northeastern, right? So how did that come about as a college student?
So I started Fit University. It actually just originally started as my own blog. So I was a sophomore at Northeastern, and I guess to sort of bring it back to how I got into fitness, I always struggled with my weight. So ever since I was like 8 years old, was always trying different diets, different everything to try to lose weight, and then this summer going into my sophomore year of college, so before I transferred to Northeastern, I started working with a personal trainer in the bodybuilding industry.
Okay.
And he put me on a bodybuilder's plan. So, cardio in the morning. yeah, exactly. Cardio in the morning, weights in the afternoon, training 6 days a week, 5-6 small meals a day of chicken, broccoli, sweet potatoes, you know the deal. Yeah. And so I got super, super invested into fitness at that point. And then I came to Northeastern, and I was sort of like, my identity was like this fit person. So people were always asking me for tips in the gym or recipes or what have you. And so I started a blog called Fit University. And the idea was just to show college students that it's not that hard to stay fit in college. And it was a Tumblr.
I had a bunch of Tumblr blogs too.
Yeah.
And they were in like scarce in like different sort of niches.
Tumblr was the shit.
Yeah, Tumblr was the shit. It's still the shit, but you just gotta finesse it.
Yeah.
You gotta mask it and not make it look like a Tumblr. But
exactly.
There's a lot of blogs out there that are still ran on Tumblr.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, still ton. They're like either Squarespace or Tumblr or the other one. I forgot.
WordPress?
Yeah, you just gotta go. You gotta go down all the way to the
bottom
bottom to see which one.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Tumblr is awesome.
Yeah.
So I started this blog, and then basically after that, I just started to have more and more ideas, and so I wanted to write a cookbook of recipes you can make in your dorm room, and start a fitness club on campus, host fitness events. And then, like, slowly over time throughout my college career, I started to do all those things. So I ended up, my junior year is when I started the fitness club, and I called it Fit NU. The blog was called Fit University. Fit NU was the chapter, and the goal was just to build community around healthy living, because basically the reason that I wanted to start it was because, people go into the gym, they have no clue what to do. They hop on the elliptical, or they like maybe go throw a few dumbbells around, but nobody knows what they're actually doing.
Exactly, yeah.
So you leave, you're like, that was an okay workout, I guess. So I wanted there to be an educational component of how to work out, how to also work out not using the gym, but there's so many other ways to work out and to just be active, and then to build community around healthy living, because that's the only way that you're ever going to sustain it, is if you have that group of people supporting you.
Like I just mentioned off camera and off podcast, that I'm looking to build like the biggest fitness community in Boston, like out there, because there's a lot of people just in their little pockets.
Yeah.
It's sort of like like the college for adults, where you have your little cliques everywhere, and until some outside organization comes in and then do some big event, that's when you'll see everybody.
Yes.
But it's like, why do we need, these big organizations to come in when we could just run these kick-ass events ran by us, so that we're directly connected to our audience, right?
Yeah.
So like, why not build the biggest network where we can share our knowledge and resources and see where it goes, create more opportunities for one another.
Absolutely.
So this leads into this next question, because it's like, there's a lot of people out there that's looking for some sort of community like this, right?
Yeah.
And I've talked to a lot of trainers and a lot of fitness professionals, like Pilates instructors, yoga instructors, and they're looking for some sort of community where they can share ideas and bounce ideas, right? Yeah. So if someone's out there looking to create their own community, like, what would be your advice for that particular person?
Looking to create community. I mean, I'd say start small. Think about the people that you know, even if it's just one person or two people, of who could also benefit from them, and just really think about what it is exactly that you want out of this community. And then I'd reach out to those one or two people and say, hey, I'm looking to do this, like, want to meet up for a workout, want to meet up for a coffee, whatever it is, keeping it super small. And casual. I think there's a tendency when people, and I do this a lot, I was just talking about this last week, is that when we want to build something, we immediately go to this grandiose idea of it.
Yeah, that's me too.
Yeah, of course. You like think about, you know, like everything you could be. I called it the, what I call it, like the Golden Globes version of what you want. But you got to start at like the high school talent award show.
You got to sort of like reverse engineer, right? This is exactly what I'm doing. I know where I want to take it, but now I'm just reverse engineering, and hence why I started this podcast, right? It's like, all right, get these guests and these people that I'm a fan of in the fitness industry in Boston, see what they're up to, and then see how we can plug, you know, and build a community. Because there's a lot of people that might come across this sort of content, and then they're still a little stuck, but then they can see within the actions that we're taking, like, all right, they're just like me, figuring it out along the way, you know, but they're on that journey. So how do I get in contact with them? Right?
Exactly.
And
it's just step by step. It's constantly, and this was, and we can, I'm sure we'll get into it at some point, but on Connection, on the tour that I was just on, it was a constant practice of, okay, wait, no, let's pull this back. How can we make this smaller? How can we make do with what we have right now? And so, to add on to the point about building community, so one or two people, reach out to them. But if you're sitting there and you're like, shit, but I don't even know one or two people, then I'd say reach out to people that you do know, maybe 10 of your friends, and say, hey, I'm looking to build this type of community. Do you know anybody who would be interested? Because all you need is one other person to start a community.
And that's pretty much it. And then just continue to work, because as you build it and you enjoy the process of doing these actions that the community will be participating in, you know, you will find people along the way. Because I've been in this industry since I moved here in 2015, and I've come across a ton of awesome people, right? And one of these awesome people happens to be Sarah Gaines. All right, so let's get into, because you're actively building a community around Connection, right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
So I wouldn't say actively building. I feel like that's more passive.
Okay. All right. So you guys
like Fit University is total active community. Like that's the basis of what we do. Same with the Y Society. Connection, I think the community is built through the events that we host, but what we're really providing, what we're really building is an experience.
Okay. Yeah. Do tell me about this Connection experience.
So Connection is I'm like smiling to myself because there's a video of us talking about what Connection is that we filmed before we even started. It's like the same exact tone that I said it in. So Connection is a traveling movement and music festival. So what we do is we bring together people in their local community and for a few hours worth of moving in different ways. So whether that's a workout or dance or yoga, and pair it with music. So that's with a DJ or live musicians. And then we also bring in local artists, local food vendors. So I guess the community piece of Connection isn't really building new community, but it's taking an already existing community and sort of building a bridge between different communities that already exist.
Providing them with an outlet to express themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Yeah,
and for other people to come in and experience it.
Yeah, because I love music, and then right now you're connecting all of these things together, what people love. Because this is what actually brings like community and like fitness enthusiasts together for like these, like, what was the last one that you threw? It wasn't actually a connection, was it? Where we ran into each other?
At the Y Society? The other we were?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, that was the Boston Social Fitness Festival.
Yeah, like they had that whole dance sort of stage and everything like that.
Exactly.
And they had all these sort of booths where they had the spin, they had the Metcon, the Tough Mudder. Everything. And what brings them together is just like all of it under one roof. Like health, and also just fun.
Yeah, just moving and enjoying it.
Yeah, and like people had fun dancing, working out, and wasn't even thinking about the actual exercise itself, but just having a good time and moving with it.
Exactly, and that's the most important part. It's not about like going in for a workout. It's just finding ways to enjoyably integrate movement into your life.
Yeah, and there's a time and a place for just that grueling, tough workout where you just like pedal to the metal, focus on a specific goal, and then there's just like incorporating that into a lifestyle, So I feel connection based on what I've read from your newsletters and whatnot, and the tour. Yeah, tell us about this tour that you just came back from.
Yeah, so the tour was a 6-week cross-country road trip, starting in Boston, going all the way over to California, down California, through Austin, Texas, and then ending all the way up in Miami, or all the way down in Miami.
Now, did you guys drive across the country? So you guys drove all the way to the West Coast. How long was this tour?
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
So yeah, we had our Boston event October 6th. We left Boston October 8th. We ended with our final event in Miami November 18th.
And drove from Miami back to Boston?
Yeah, after that I did.
Wow.
My partner lives in Gainesville, Florida, so she went back up there, but I drove the rest of the way.
Solo?
No, I picked up a friend in North Carolina.
Okay.
But I had a good 10 hours by myself, which was nice because after being not only with Danielle, my partner, like literally sitting this close from each other for 6 weeks.
Driving.
Yeah, which I mean, we say that we're the power couple of the year because like our communication skills, we did not fight one time. Like,
that is impressive.
It was awesome. Just like communication is key. You just gotta express what you need and what you don't need.
Yo, that is crazy. Like,
yeah.
I know I would just like 4 hours and I'm just like, because there's like the playlist that you gotta like fight over. There's the bathroom breaks. There's all of these things that you gotta like you wouldn't even think, but you have somebody with you, you're just like, oh, do I have to hold it for 3 hours until, don't drink too much.
Well, that was her biggest issue with me is because I drink so much water, so I need to stop to pee like every hour, but she got over it.
She got over it, okay. Nice.
It's also good to stop often because then we get out, we stretch, we move a little bit because, we were averaging like 6 to 8 hours a day. So basically how we had it set up is that we had an event or sometimes 2 events every weekend. So we had the week in between to drive from place to place.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Nice. And how did you set up this tour?
So Danielle reached out to me back in January. She called me up. She's like, hey, do you want to drive across the country with me hosting pop-up boot camps? And I was like, that sounds great. Let's do it. And then we did it. Just kidding. That's not how it happened.
Like, that's the testament to how badass that is, right? So how long did it take you from that phone call to like actually making it happen?
So we started planning it in March. And so, we started with the first thing that we started off with was we each wrote out 12 cities that we thought would be good, whether that's like because of people that we knew there or places that we had been or places that we just felt could sort of vibe with what we were doing. So we wrote out our 12 cities, we compared them, we had a ton of overlap. We ended up picking them based off that. And then, you start to think about, okay, well, what are the things that we need? We need a location, we need musicians, we need people, we need brands who can support us. And over the past few years, I've worked with a ton of brands, so then I started reaching out to all of them. I created a pitch deck of like, okay, here's the overview, here's how many people you're reaching, here's the social media reach, here's the physical reach, and then just started, pitching it to brands. We got a few great brands on board. Under Armour was one of them, Redcon One, which is a supplement company, is another. And then among other ones, and also among local ones. So some, some brands sponsored the tour as a whole. Others just did city specific.
Okay.
And then it was just about reaching out to everyone. And what was so cool about connection. So connection is spelled kinetic, like kinetic, and then connection combined. But we relied solely off of our connections in every single city to make this happen. And it just showed us the power of connection, the power of community, of like, I reach out to you and say, hey, I'm going to Chicago, and you say, oh, awesome, like my friend's a DJ there, let me set you up with him.
That is awesome.
And that's how it happened.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really, really organic and just like really, really beautiful to see all these cities come together in such different ways. Like our Boston event was so different from our Denver event to our Miami event. Like each of them brought their own energy and their own sort of unique twist on it.
That is awesome. Like, actually, you know, and this is basically where, you know, the differentiators come into play, because, you know, there's a lot of people that talk about doing things like these, but then they have no action behind it. And then my whole thing is, like, my motto is ideas are useless unless you can take immediate action on them, right? And you're a perfect example of, you had an idea, you was like, let's not wait 5 years and make it happen. Let's make it immediately happen.
For sure. Yeah, and one of my favorite mottos, actually, sorry to cut you off, but is it seems really in line is, and I've said this to myself from the beginning, like from when I was doing Fit University, is have a vision, see that vision, make that vision come to life.
That is awesome.
And I repeat that to myself time and time again.
Yeah, so like a tip or advice from there, right? Like that motto is perfect for it. Like there are people in your community, however big or small, looking to create, you know, some sort of, you know, community, like that has the same vision and it aligns with the same philosophy. What your goal is to do is, you know, find a way where you can communicate it like authentically, be authentic. Like, I don't know all the answers, but this is something that I'm actively searching to do. And just start, if you can't find anybody, start making it happen. And in that journey, you are going to find people that align with it. You know, it's not going to happen like yesterday or today. Right. You have to be the one to actively take action. Like, you have all these things going for you in the first place, so you have leverage to continue on and be like, yeah, let's push it a little bit bigger.
Right. But yeah, I think I loved what you said about saying when you don't know something. I think that's huge. It's like, you know what you're good at, you know where you need assistance, and I think the biggest disservice we can do ourselves is, you know, not collaborating with other people for that reason. Like, you know, be honest with where you're strong and where you're a little bit weaker, and then let somebody come in and pick up that weak part, because that's probably their strength, and then you guys together build a team.
Yeah. Any future plans for Connection?
Yeah.
We're
gonna do Connection 2019. So we're gonna be doing another tour, and then we're also gonna be planning a Connection weekend, which is gonna be a retreat.
Oh, do tell.
Movement, music, and magic, because that's our tagline: movement, music, magic.
Credo?
Yeah.
Okay. Where is this? Is it a retreat?
It's going to be a retreat, about a weekend, maybe a few days more of a weekend. And I mean, this has not yet been confirmed or solidified, but looking to do it sometime maybe in June. And hopefully we're going to be doing it at this one spot that we ended up stopping along on our way from Denver to California, and it's an incredibly beautiful, special, amazing place. So hopefully more details to come on that soon, but definitely Connection 2019 coming. It's going to be bigger and better.
Awesome. So this also was very last minute and spontaneous. So I didn't have like that deck or prepared, because I wanted to be like super, you know, relaxed and chill and getting to know each other, but yet documenting us actually sitting down and having a discussion. I would definitely want, because I have so much more questions to ask you, but it's sort of like that attention span of the millennials. It's like, all right, they're not going to sit here and watch all this.
Hold on, I'm going to interrupt. It's not millennials. It's fucking everybody.
It is. And you know
what? Like, enough about like everybody shits on millennials, but you know what? We're great.
Wait, you're a millennial?
Yeah.
Okay.
So are you, right? Yeah.
Wait.
You're a millennial.
I'm just probably at the tail beginning.
What are you, like 32?
Yeah.
Okay. You're a millennial. You're in there.
I'm a millennial. Like
but
I have the luxury.
Millennial generation.
I have the luxury where I kind of like.
You get to choose.
Yeah, because I grew up a majority of my life. I grew up without, you know, connection to the internet.
Yeah.
So, and tablets and all this stuff. but my baby brothers, they're actually millennials. Anyway, quick slight tangent, by the way. Yeah, I would like to hear more because you have like so much going for you. We're probably just going to talk off camera, or maybe we just continue to talk this conversation. Yeah, let's go until the card space runs out. Podcast, what I'm going to do is stop and reshoot this camera again because of this 30-minute limit that it has.
I see.
Yeah, so we're going to do
For 30 minutes?
almost.
Holy shit.
Yeah, almost. All right, so basically, like you've like, because you wear multiple hats.
I do.
And I do the same too. Like I play, director, producer, editor, marketer, all of these things, right?
Yeah.
So are these the skills that you've learned along the way because you had the vision and there was no one there to help you, or did you have some sort of help and guidance in that area?
I think it's a combination of both. I've always been an event creator. Always. Like, I planned my 10th birthday, my bat mitzvah, like I planned all that. I just love it.
Yeah.
So I've always done that. The business portion and the marketing portion, and the working with brands portion, all of that has just been trial and error. I listen to a ton of podcasts and read a ton of articles and all that kind of stuff, and talk to a lot of people. I'm very lucky. I'm surrounded by incredibly smart, incredibly driven people, and I have that community of people to rely on and ask for help and ask for connections and whatnot. But it's mostly been, going out there, trying. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Taking those learning points and then moving forward from the next one. Like, I definitely could not have planned connection along the help with Danielle the way that we did had it not been for all of my past experience with Fit University, with the Y Society, with planning all of those events.
Yeah, so I would definitely want to, because I've been trying to put together because based off of different conversations I've had with trainers, they all need this sort of community where they can, one, be mentored. They'll have workshops and seminars for these sort of topics.
Yeah.
Because they're all independent trainers are running their independent businesses, right? They have to be the marketer, they have to be the content creators.
Absolutely.
And all that stuff. But then all this information is everywhere for them to go and search on their own. So there's a lot of time that takes into account of finding all the information and then taking action on that information. So what I'm trying to do is bridge or bring all of these things under one umbrella, right? So it can cater to this audience of independent trainers who need the skills in program design, group fitness or community building sort of practices so that they can build their independent training businesses and coordinate all this stuff. So I'm definitely eager to
let's
talk to
definitely
you about it because I've talked to Garrett. You know Garrett, right?
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So me and Garrett are currently in this think tank group together.
Oh, no way.
And she was like, she was like, talk to, and then she brought your name up again, and I'm like, oh yeah, I definitely gotta go and hit her up. So I immediately after Garrett told me your name again, I was like, all right, let me slide into those DMs. And I was like, yo, what's good, Sarah? This is what I'm trying to do. Let's what do you got going on next week?
I was like, nothing.
Nothing. I was like, all right, let's link up and let's make something happen together. So look forward to us to connecting again.
Well, I'm actually and we can talk about this more offline, but probably about a year ago, I wanted to start something called the Boston Fitness Collective.
Oh,
and it was, so you can use that name.
Okay.
If you want it. But it was the same exact idea. Just because there is I've always said the Boston fitness community is really, really amazing. I have collaborated with so many people, made so many friends. It's amazing, but so much of it exists just through Instagram.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
you go like months without seeing people, even though you're in the same fucking
Same
city.
city.
It's
and
crazy.
you're like, dude, let's link up once a month. Let's do a meetup group or something. Like, you know how much you can learn? Like, I'm learning just by sitting with you for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But imagine if you're surrounded by all of these like great minds who are automatically doing their thing, but then each individual person or group of people have their blind spots, right?
Yep, of course,
and you can just see through those blind spots, and you're gonna be like, oh, this is what worked for me.
Yeah.
And then this is what worked for me. Holy shit, let's make it happen together.
Right.
Like, that just speeds the production process and grows the community even bigger.
Yeah.
You know, it's like no need to compete with everyone.
No.
Like, our goal is to just have our fitness community like the healthiest, strongest, and you know, well connected. So
yeah, and that's what like I've always loved that about the Boston fitness community is that I've never really found it competitive. It's always been collaborative, and I think, you know, it's easy. I think because I've had people who are not in the fitness industry but want to get into the fitness industry reach out and sort of like ask for guidance, and you know, from an outside perspective, it seems really scary and daunting because like there are all these people already doing all these things. But I think what people need to realize is that competitiveness is not going to get you anywhere.
No, at all. Like, you have your own little clicks, but then there's no growth potential.
Right.
You know, you're just limited by your environment. You'll be the biggest fish in a small pond.
Right.
But why not swim with like a sea of giant fishes, right?
Right. And there's room for all kinds of people in the fitness industry because there's all kinds of people that exist out there. So my message, like, you know, or the way that I teach or the way that I train might not resonate with you, but the way that somebody else does, that might be more your speed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like you go to them and I'll find somebody else who resonates with
Yeah, your leverage is your own perspective, right? Like,
Good.
So
you should tweet that.
Oh, yeah.
Your leverage is your perspective.
Oh, yeah, we should actually write on this board like our Instagram handle so they could pick that up. Yeah. And there you go.
Oh, no.
Fair.
Oh, wait, I think we're good. Can you see that? No.
We'll try this one. So right now we're just writing our name on the board for the YouTube vid.
Let's see.
There we go. Sarah James.
That's a G. I don't know what that is.
Hey, so it's at Sarah J Gaines, SARAH JGAINES.
I don't think you can see it in the video.
I will pull it closer so they can see it. Yeah, so all right, so now you are a group fitness instructor slash there's so many hats that you wear. So like me, I wear so many hats, like I can't actually put what I do under one sort of title.
It's like the greatest struggle of my life is trying to explain to someone shortly and concisely what I do.
Yeah, it's like, does entrepreneur fall into that? Just one word, entrepreneur, but it's like you're more than just an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
And right now, in this day and age, entrepreneurship gets such a bad rap because everybody wants to be one.
But like, why shouldn't you want to be one? It's having control over your life. It's doing the things that you're passionate about. I mean, entrepreneurship is a beautiful thing.
I know. It's just like, you're just crushing it, and it's like you don't have to like fall into the category that, you know, have your own definition for what entrepreneurship is.
Well, and I think too something. So I work really closely with a company called Startup Island. They're a travel company. They provide travel experiences for entrepreneurial minded people. And what I love about them is that the way that they define entrepreneurship is being the CEO of your own life. You could be an entrepreneur and still work in, you know, a corporate setting. It doesn't need to be, I'm an entrepreneur and I have a startup and I'm going out to raise funding. Like, there's so many definitions. It's just having ownership of your life.
Yeah, like your business could literally be plugging other businesses together, right? Like what you do is make a connection between me and Sarah.
Right.
Like, yo, Caesar's over here trying to build a community. Sarah's over here. You met us on 2 different occasions, and you make the introduction, right? Like that could be your actual business. It doesn't, like, whatever you define it as I said before, you have your own perspective on what it is that you do. So you just, like, define it for yourself. Define your own success, you know, and
demonstrate.
Yeah, just like define your own success, what it means to you to do what it is that you do. And so I have like these 3 like off the cuff questions that I tend to ask people. It might sound a little quirky, but the first 2 is, if you could have like your own radio station or your own TV show,
yes,
like what would you be talking about?
Everything.
Exactly. I dropped a video yesterday talking about like, because you know, when you're building your personal brand, it's like all these ideas, like you gotta find a niche, right? You gotta find this and that.
Yeah.
But it's like, I like to do it all. I like sneakers, I like music, I like fitness.
Yeah, I mean, because it's all interconnected.
Yeah.
You know, like everything relates to one another. The way that I work out is related to how I give a speech in front of somebody, because I'm building confidence in the gym and then have the confidence to then go out and speak in front of people. So like, and then, you know, music is connected to fitness because the music drives my fitness. So it's all
interconnected. So also, I'm trying to like have like a crowd surfing sort of building a playlist, like an epic sort of playlist that people could just be like, yo, throw this track on your playlist, and you have like an awesome dope tune. Funny enough, a bunch of group fitness instructors I know, they're very guarded about their playlists.
It's funny.
That's funny. It's like,
people, because I mean, you spend so much time making a playlist, because that really, like, music is such a huge driver when it comes to fitness, and everybody has like their own unique flair. Yeah, you know, it's funny now that I'm thinking about it, like at one of the old cycling studios that I worked at, if somebody would find a new song, they wouldn't want to share it with anybody until they played it first. They have to be the first one to play it.
Play it first. Yeah. Like, there are actual like fans of like spin instructors. I know a bunch of soul cycle instructors. They don't care about the actual workout. They just want to go there and bump the tunes and like work out together. It's like
because it's fun. It's like going to a concert. It's like dancing.
Yeah, with your homies. So I'm looking to be like, yo, let's collaborate on a playlist together and make an awesome sort of radio station.
Yeah. Well, so actually one of my biggest goals is to eventually, so I bought myself a DJ kit, and I want to learn to DJ, because I want to DJ and teach fitness classes at the same time.
That is epicness. That would make for a dope ass festival.
Right? I know. And then you have like live drummers and stuff on stage, live horns, like the whole nine.
Okay, so like, gonna put you on the spot here.
Yeah.
All right, because I probably there was this goal of mine from the moment I moved into Boston.
Where did you move from?
Brooklyn.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I wanted to like throw this epic sort of like fitness rave at like the Hat Show. Okay. I could like completely just ran into a ton of walls trying to make that happen, but I'm not quitting yet. But what I would like to do though is like do some sort of like epic, make the social Boston like fitness
Boston Social Fitness Festival.
Yeah, festival like 10x it maybe.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, so you know what's funny is, so for the past 2 years up until this year, Fig University hosted the Back to School Blowout, which was a fitness festival exclusively for college students. It was hosted in Copley Square. There was multiple workouts throughout the day, similar structure to Boston Social. And then this past year, we ended up joining forces and becoming part of it, because that was the bigger version. But there's certainly, like, there is always room for growth.
Yeah,
and there's
it's like make it huge, but then make it sort of like where it's just like more frequent, right? Like, I heard like people say to me like, yo, this is like dope, I just wish it would happen more. Or just like at a different part in the city. Or like have more of this, have more of that. And the best way that you can do it is just like increase the amount that you make happen, right? And then the size of it, right? So that it's like, oh man, and make it like an annual thing where it's like, yo, this festival is put on by trainers and ran by trainers, and sort of like the brands that want to be in part of the audience or in front of the audience, they can like get involved that way.
Yep.
But instead of like they're having their hand in the jar and then just be like, oh, I choose you, but have the fitness professionals actually
really run that. I like that a lot.
You know, and it's because
excuse me.
Yeah, go right ahead. It's because like everything that you do is like dictated by them. You know, it's like you kind of walk on like eggshells to kind of please the brand, but like, yo, this is who you interact with every single day that comes to your classes.
Right.
You put on this effort just so that you can like have what you do dictated by an outside source, right? So why not put it together yourself and build it yourself with a group of like-minded individuals and see where it goes. The next thing you know, like 10-year anniversary, you're like, holy shit, Sarah and Caesar were talking about this same thing. Okay. Episode 2 of the podcast.
All right, check us out in 2028.
Yeah, there we go.
That's crazy.
That's
2028.
Right.
There's gonna be like you'll be working out in like a spaceship.
Yeah, you'll probably be like.
So you get to work out.
At that point, there'll probably be just like hyperbolic chambers that people just get in line, walk in. You know, it's just like close you and then just shakes you up a little bit.
You walk out.
You just walk out like shredded. You know, who knows where that will go.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Man, we talked for like almost 40 minutes.
Damn.
That is awesome.
Time flies.
Yeah, and this is like very casual and relaxed. Imagine if we had like a full panel just talking shit. And yeah, that's the goal.
Talking good shit.
Talking good shit, not just bullshit. Oh, tagline right there. Hashtag. So where can they find you, Sarah?
Find me on all the social media at Sarah J. Gaines. That's my Instagram. That is my Twitter. I also just recently started using Facebook as Facebook business. I always forgot about Facebook.
No, I have one too, and I hardly use it.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny. I had this realization because I've never liked to post on my personal Facebook about anything that I'm doing. Mm-hmm. Instagram to me is like very business oriented, and I use that to sort of share. Facebook, I always stayed away from. And then I started noticing all of these people that I'm friends with on Facebook always sharing their health stuff, their fitness stuff, and there's so much interactions and engagement on it. I was like, what the fuck? Like, why don't you should start using Facebook? And if you think about it, like, I don't go on Facebook and post on Facebook often, but I go on Facebook every day and I just scroll.
Yeah. So I might as well just throw your post up there, and then I'm guilty of that too.
Yeah.
I'm like staying in this little lane. And I need to like sort of have like this pillar content and then just drip it in all the different
exactly.
social sites.
You know what? Somebody needs to create one platform where all content can get pushed to all channels. Like Hootsuite can kind of do it, but like I don't want to have to schedule it out. I just want one platform where I post it and then it posts to Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. So somebody create that, please.
Yeah, you start people over there in Silicon Valley.
Oh yeah, please create that. But so Sarah J. Gaines on Instagram, Twitter. If you're looking on Facebook, the little username is Sarah Joy Gaines. My website is sarahjgaines.com. And I also have a podcast called Embody. Super similar in the sense that it's just completely raw, just like not planned at all. The only difference is they're super, super short episodes, like all under 10 minutes.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out too.
Yeah, it's just me talking. It's basically, I call them bits to build the life you crave. So each episode is just like a little segment on, you know, everything from, you know, confidence building to noticing like how external forces are impacting you, stuff like that.
Awesome. So I'll make it super easy and then just put everything in the show notes down below, and you guys can check her out, because like definitely if you're in the mix like I am, you'll definitely hear her name a ton and see her a ton. Right, and then just like, she's around until she goes on tour again. Anyway, thank you for watching and listening.
Thanks,
signing off. Till the next time.
Deuces.
Peace.
Bye, guys. Thanks.